Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great too. Thank you so much. And we were talking a little bit ahead of time, and I believe you when you say you're great. Some people will be like, "Oh, I'm great, I'm fine," but you're like, "I don't really know." But before you were like, "Oh, life's good. Like life is good," and so I want that to be the first thing we talk about.
Okay.
What's good in this life?
Oh my gosh, there's so much that's good in this life. Right now I'm really grateful for my existence, for
Mm-hmm.
the state of my life. I'm blessed to have a job that, you know, takes care of me. I take care of my work, my patients at work, and my job takes care of me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's allowed me to help my family, help others, my friends. I'm thankful to have a great community. I have family that I'm surrounded by here in the DMV. I have a lot of great friends. I have an amazing partner, even though she's all the way in Washington. She'll be here
Get
Friday.
back. Get back.
I know. My lady and my tramp are coming on Friday.
Oh, you got a little honey, a little dog.
Yes.
Very sweet. That is kind of cute. Do you call is that like your nickname, how you do it naturally, Lady in the Tramp?
Yeah, that's actually a new thing that I found and I
I
love. I
love
love it.
that so much. Keep that, never let it go.
Never. But what else, I mean, there's so much that's good. Like I'm starting to get back into my art, like playing with some resin, making dominoes.
Ooh,
Um, I'm going to be start making beats again now that I have my computer upgrade. I have space so I can make the beats and save them.
okay.
Tapping back into video editing,
Oh,
just
you said multi-hyphenate, multifaceted. Don't worry about it.
for sure, for
I'm
sure.
into it. I feel like just hearing about your like what's going well, like what feels good in your life, I feel like I'm good. Like I'm not experiencing the same exact things, right? But like just the power of speaking to the gifts of our lives and the things that we have breath in our bodies. I mean, that's what you started. I'm still here.
Yes.
I have a job, I have all these things, and I think just the practice of gratitude is powerful. And I'm sort of reminded like, gosh, it must be 10 years ago now. I started a gratitude practice and it has evolved and diminished over the years, right? Where I'm very much active in it. But one of the things that I love about my gratitude practice is that I do write things that are like that seem very easy to come by. You can see that and be like, you just should be grateful for that. Maybe it's breath, maybe it's getting home safely, maybe it's Lady in a Tramp, like just people who love us, good community. And then there are the things that we have to sort of like stretch a little bit or reframe to feel gratitude. So for many years, I lived in Boston, and Boston is public transportation is more common. It's not, there are classism everywhere for sure, but it's more common for anyone. I would be on the bus and the train with the people who were about to go do a surgery, right? Like it just depends on where you're going. And sometimes when you hopped on in the morning, there wasn't no room. Like it's standing room only. And I remember you used to like just be complaining, like, oh my God, I'm in grad school at the time. So I carried this backpack and my knees, and I just got an attitude, right? And then I was told by a monk to reframe gratitude. And so that's when I moved into like, man, it is exhausting to stand for 40 minutes with my backpack with people bumping up against me on this train, but I got a bus pass. My limbs can help me stand, right? I'm going to a research one institution on full scholarship. Like, you better hush and enjoy and say, thank you, Lord, or whoever you're thanking. So I think the practice of gratitude in the ease and in the dis-ease is a form of what this episode is about, which is enjoying this life, even while there are hard things that happen. And so I'd be curious for you, how do you come to this space of, while I'm over here like adulthood is the worst hood I ever lived in. It's ghetto out here. And you're like my friend Della a couple episodes Delano a couple episodes back, life good for me. How do you get to that place of just being like, life can be all the things, but I'm gonna say it's good to me.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's been a journey because if you had seen me maybe a year ago, I don't know if I would have said the same thing.
Mm,
But what I have learned over that time is that this is a journey. The
mm-hmm.
beauty there's beauty in the journey, in the process. Like I used to be so focused on the destination or the goal, and I would just discount the
Mm,
happenings that are happening
mm,
along the way. And so I've come to learn to appreciate the moments, like
mm-hmm,
day, the things that feel mundane and
mm,
the little things. And it adds so much more to my everyday life. Um, so like gratitude, we started talking about, I think that's definitely one part of how I got into the space and really focusing on myself and
mm-hmm.
like what brings me joy, what gives me energy, um, and just tapping into different parts of myself.
I appreciate hearing that too, because I think, this season really is meant to, of course, mimic the arc of the book of the same name, Rushing to Adulthood, but also to sort of kind of nail down like how are we doing this? Like, what are the tangibles? I think myself and everyone is sort of thinking about like, okay, I want my life to look a certain way, or I don't want to necessarily be in the situation that I'm currently in or whatever it looks like. And I want this particular outcome, but I have to think about the inputs, right? Like, because I mean, it's like the to-do list or the everyone makes the not everyone, but it's popular to make the January vision boards and things like that. It's like it's really nice to see the list. It's really nice to see the visuals of how I want my life to be, which I hope for most people includes enjoyment. But I think what is missing is the tangibles to that outcome, which might look like I'm going to practice gratitude or I'm going to make sure every day like I can track a hearty laugh. For a number of years, I have a dear friend, Udom, Dr. Udom, who a couple months ago was like, "When's the last time you laughed till you cried?" And I was like, I couldn't locate, could not locate that laugh. And like, I mean, I laugh. I have some good hearty laughs here and there, but like them ones, you know how black people, you get that laugh and you start running around the room and you sliding off chairs and you just can't control yourself, like that visceral response. Like I haven't had that in a long, long time. So I think I started asking myself, okay, this week did I get a really good, at least guttural laugh? It may not be that run around the room, but something where I like lost my breath and my eyes are watering from that. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
about tangible things that I can implement in my life to get to that desired result. So, on this theme of rushing to adulthood. Some people not rushing, but we all want to end at I hope, I'm just speaking for all of us, general statement. We do want to enjoy our lives. I'm just going to say that I hope people want that. Don't
Me
fight me
too.
on it. Fight your mama. Like, if you don't want to enjoy your life, don't worry about it. But don't be ruining mine. Auntie Tabitha Brown,
Yes.
what I ain't gonna dare try to quote her, but y'all know it.
Yeah. Yep.
But and so for you in this journey, you've sort of named a few, you got your gratitude and sort of like focusing on like, where you can focus. Do you have like tangible things that you do like daily, weekly, monthly basis to make sure that you are moving toward more enjoyment in your life?
Well, yeah, some things I do like maybe on a monthly basis is like go to the spa. I love a spa day. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what kind of
Um,
massage we getting? What kind of massage you getting?
so that's actually separate for me.
Okay,
But
wow.
I'll tell
I'm
you about
learning.
that because I
Okay.
don't play about it. So my spa days are specifically for sauna, for
Mm-hmm.
steaming, and things like that.
That's why your skin look like it do. Okay. That's why your hair growing out your scalp like it is. Okay. It's moisturization. It's detoxifying. I get
Yeah,
you.
all of that. Self-care, that's in the daily, right? But the monthly is definitely spas, doing things like that. In my monthly, kind of bi-weekly, I get massages
Mm-hmm.
because of my work. So I get 2 hour massages every time I get a massage.
Don't play
And this
about it.
guy that I go see, deep pressure, like he's excellent. He knows how to speak to my fascia,
Mm.
to my muscles, and like really get in there and work it out.
Gosh.
So
I
I'm
need
thankful.
I need the contact. I need them. I have a dope guy. I don't want to leave him. He's amazing. Max, Unwind Wellness. You can have all my money.
I got you for my contact though. If you ever want to go see Jan at Hand and Stone out in visit Fairfax? It's somewhere in Virginia.
Oh, I love Fairfax.
Yes, love Virginia. So yeah, and then on the weekends, like I like to be outside. So
Mm,
whether I'm going for a walk in a park or if I'm just gonna go walk around the block, put my AirPods in, listen to some music, maybe read a book or two, some audiobooks, podcasts. Um, but I like to go out and have fun also. My cousin and I have recently reconnected from our family
mm,
reunion that we had in June, at the end of June. And ever since then, it seems like every weekend or every other weekend, we've been going out to different events.
mm,
And I love that. So my goal was to be outside this summer, and I'm definitely outside this summer.
mm.
But kind of getting out, being social is something that's very important to me, where I can connect with new people, get to meet new people, talk about what's going on in our lives. Connection is a huge part of my life. But
Absolutely.
then on the daily, like taking care of myself. Um, just it's part of my routine. Like I have a routine in the morning and in the evening. My favorite one is the evening because that's when I'm able to take more time and wind
Mm,
down, ease and slow down after my busy, hectic day. I can shower, I can steam, I can sing or not, just maybe meditate, do some breathing. Once I get out, I take my time and moisturize my skin. I have a whole facial routine that I follow.
mm.
Very
I'm
relaxing,
telling
calming.
you, we need to get into your routine. We need to get into your routine. I'm feeling convicted. I mean, you talk about moisturizing slowly. Like I be slapping on that lotion. Like, I am working on slowing down. It's a lot. A friend of mine jokes with me, like, I know your showers. There was one time I was like, oh, I feel like I have to like, do my hair when I got a shortcut. And I feel like I gotta do something with it every single day. And she also used to have a shortcut. She has long sister locks now. But she'd be like, I don't understand why you gotta be doing your hair every day. Just like let the steam hit it and just reshape it. And I'd be like, I don't take long enough showers to let the whole bathroom steam up. Like I just be like, everything gotta be quick. And it's not that I don't have time, right? And so I'm like, we had talked earlier in before we started recording about like I'm feeling called to talk more about enjoyment because maybe hearing other people talk about enjoying their lives and what that looks like on a day to day, I can find inspiration. And that enjoyment, of course, can be like in the being outside and doing things. But most of what I've heard you say so far, it really is about like grounding practices for yourself. So taking care of your mind, body, spirit, being with people who I assume also care about your mind, body, spirit, and don't extract from you. Like those things are like, that's enjoyment in a new way that isn't like I'm about to go like skydiving, which could be enjoyable for some people. It's not enjoyable for me. It's stressful for me, but really thinking about how we set up our days, like it sounds like your whole day starts and ends with enjoyment of who you are and grounding in who you are. And I'm inspired and a little convicted. I'm not going to lie about it. I got to get myself together. Absolutely. And I thank you for all the opportunity to do so. The other thing that you are saying, oh, so congratulations about your cousin. That's really exciting. I love reunions. Um, the thing that you were saying about community sparked a thought for me. So this episode is coming, towards the latter part of this season, and we spent the first two segments really talking about the rush itself and like what does it mean to rush to adulthood? Are we rushing in adulthood even if you didn't rush to it? There's this like hurried feeling. I mean, living in the East Coast, I feel like being from the West Coast, living in the East Coast is like everything's faster here, literally. Um, and then thinking about what it means to sort of have the myths busted open and sort of surrendering to this new version. And then we talked about in a few episodes ago about what it means to return to self, mending relationships with ourselves and others, all of that. And now we're sort of in this conversation around what does it mean to rest in adulthood. And that enjoyment feels like a huge part of that. But I feel in this context, in the day and age that we're in, it's really hard for me to talk about or even live into enjoyment with everything happening in the world. Now, I mean, I don't want to go, we can go as deep as you want to, but this is not meant to like go off the deep end, but is to take seriously the context. We are living in the United States in 2025 under really like under duress. I feel that all the time. Maybe not every single day for me. Like I'm grateful for the way I can sort of create this sense of ease in my own bubble, but I don't live in a vacuum, and the world around us is sort of in trouble a little bit. And so I want to hear a little bit about like how do you hold those together? I know that that's something that is important to you, sort of a general sense of care for social justice and those who are on the margins. And so how do you hold these two things together at this point in your life?
Boundaries,
That's
because
good. That's good.
I am not gonna, I'm careful about what I consume. And that is not just what I eat, but it's also
Mm-hmm.
what I listen to, what I watch, and who
Mm.
I'm around, all of that. So I am aware of the things that are going on, in the world, especially living here in the nation's capital. And, my friends are being affected by like the layoffs and things that are
Mm-hmm.
happening, and I have other friends who live in LA who are seeing ICE raids and like
Mm-hmm.
crazy things that are happening. It's just plain bullying. Um, and that's just to name a couple things that's going on. But I mean, I just don't focus on it, to be quite honest. I focus on what I've got going on in my life and the things that I am trying to bring into the world to make the world a better place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't believe that, I need to worry necessarily about what's going on out in those areas where I can't really control anything.
Certainly, yeah,
Um,
sure.
so I kind of have peace about it, trusting that the creator is going to take care of it. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's out of my pay grade. Like I don't have nothing to do
You
with
have
that.
now exited my pay grade, so
Yeah, and I ain't in the military no more, thank God, because I would not want to be working. Not call this man commander in chief. I'm sorry, but
God.
any
Oof, God bless. No, I think that, I mean that first word you said, boundaries. Prentice Hemphill has a really good definition of boundaries. And they say boundaries are the distance at which I could love both you and me simultaneously. And I was like, yep, I will be taking that forever. And the thing I really love about that is the simultaneously. So sometimes I have had to make really hard bound, like keep a boundary, not make it, because I keep a boundary that I have with even family members, and that's resulted in hard conversations or maybe loss of relationship in some cases, and that's you grieve that and you deal. But I think even as I explained it, it's I want to love us well. I first and foremost want to love me well. That feels I'm the priority and the prize, and I want to love you well. And this is what it looks like at this moment, which is not to allow for insert whatever thing it is, right? And that even in that really hard thing, I was proud of myself. I found fulfillment in that. And it almost brought me like a sense of contentment that I could choose myself in that way, even up against blood in this case. And so I really appreciate that sense of understanding, like having really clear boundaries. And then what you said about like, we just got to be in our lanes. I work in the field of really trying to create equitable outcomes, and I work in local government doing this work. So it's I gotta look at it every day, and even with that, paying attention to like, okay, is that above my pay grade? Can I actually, in this case, like do anything specific about that thing? I can work in my part of the world to make change, to provide supports, to build capacity for others who are trying to do that other like big systems change thing. But at the end of the day, the boundary is this is the capacity I have. These are the gifts and skills I have. And this is what I want my life to look like. So I'll work toward that and then leave other people to do the thing that is their thing, right? And I think in that way, we can stave off like unnecessary suffering, right? So for me, suffering is both a part of life. Like I think there's a scholar, a philosopher I really love and respect his work, and he talks about um, his name is Howard Thurman. I was like, I'm going to say his name, Howard Thurman. And he talks about suffering being the suffering that it just is, right? Like, I can't control that tomorrow it might be too hot and burn my skin, whatever, right? I can't personally control that, but I can control the suffering I create, right, on my own. So, by not having boundaries, by feeling like I have to solve all the world's problems, I'm about to start creating some suffering, which minimizes my enjoyment in this world. And so I appreciate sort of being able to hold the complexity. Like I can pay attention to the fact that the world, there's a lot happening. And like the creator, the higher power, whoever, gonna have to come on and do that because that's not in my pay grade. That's in a pay grade. My pay grade is to be a good steward of the resources given to me, to be in good and right relationship with the people who I can be in good and right relationship, and to do the best that I can and leave some evidence that I was trying for a world that was different than the one I got, right? Like that's how I define like what it looks like to stay in my lane. And so I'd be curious for this specifically the category around being a good steward of the resources and relationships that you have as it pertains to this adult life in general. What does that look like for you in your life right now?
Oh, I love this. So I believe in first we have to fill our cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's important for me to take care of me because that will kind of shape the mold of how I go to take care of others. And so um that's basically how I live. Like I do what I have to do for me. I do for others, of course, but I'm not going to like put myself in a situation that is going to bring up an issue for myself internally, or create extra drama or unnecessary anything. Um, but within community, like I enjoy being a good friend,
Mm.
for opportunities to support the people that I care about, um, to encourage. I love to encourage and I love to empower. Um, and those are actually some things I had to find my own boundaries with as well,
Mm.
because I learned the difference between, or I could say that now that I understand the difference, I do not try to impose my opinions where they have not been invited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very careful about how I communicate with others. And this is probably, I mean, I have a lot of gratitude for my coaching training that
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming to completion because it's really helped me to understand the importance of how we speak to one another, like
Absolutely.
how we ask a question. Like it makes, for me, it makes a huge difference. Like one of my pet peeves is I'm not going to put that person out there, but there's someone in my life who, to them, they are asking a question or, kind of
Mm-hmm.
asking for something. But in what I hear is them just making a statement.
Mm.
And that's something that just bothers me because I'm like, if you want something, just ask me. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to be, you can just ask me. If I can do anything for you, I'm gonna do it as long as
Mm.
I can do it. Um, but yeah, community extends my friends, people I don't even know, like going out and socializing with people, learn about them off the fly, about, what they're passionate about,
Right.
what is meaningful to them, and kind of just getting some insight into what's going on in their world.
I like that. I want to come circle back though too. I'm trying to figure out like what is a statement question. So with something like you putting the roller away, right? Is that a statement question? Or like we're like
Something like that. But like, if we're gonna stick with the you putting a roll away, it's like, um, or that roller out there is still hanging out. Maybe something like that. Or it's kind of like a just
it's
like I'm
like they
saying,
have the answer in their question or their statement. Is that sort of like how it is? Or like does it feel like there's something that they want you to do that they're not saying?
yes. And
Okay.
sometimes that can be a perspective thing, like for me, because of who this person is in my life. But it's still communication because I've had to work so hard on learning how to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also had to work on like emotional maturity, emotional intelligence. And so when things like that come up, it just kind of it touches that part of me.
Right. And
So
you
I'm
want
like,
to be able to like, man, this may not be what you're saying, but like it feels like if I'm growing in this area, you want people around you to also have the same skill set or at least be trying and learning to grow in these areas. And so I think it can be difficult as we get older to figure out like how much do I, even in our friends and friendships and intimate relationships say like again, this is the boundary, this is the lane. We do have to be a little bit more flexible, I think, with some relationships, but for the most part, you can still be like, this is the lane, and this is what I need to happen in this lane. If you want to go the same direction as me, but be in your own lane, that's one thing. But if you go on opposites, then we might need to have a conversation, right? And so I think it's for me again, how can not create suffering? It's gonna happen on its own. People lose folks, things go crazy. It's just all kinds of stuff that's gonna happen. I don't want to be adding to my own suffering. And so, and I don't want to paint like suffering as the antithesis to enjoyment. And yet still, there is still something to be said about like if I'm enjoying my life, ideally it means that I am mitigating for any additional suffering that I might be causing myself. And this one is tricky because sometimes we're causing our own suffering by the people we have around, right? So you talked about like protecting what you listen to and everything like that. I'd be curious, what are you listening to? Like, what's your music? What are you watching? Give me the deeds. I'm always looking for something.
all right, so let's start with listening. I am ear reading
That's
matriarch.
what it's called. I still call it reading. Y'all, again, call your mama, talk to her about it. But I'm gonna call it reading because I'm reading, even though I'm
Hmm.
listening. But I like ear reading. I like it.
Hmm. Yes, I'm ear reading matriarch, right?
Mm.
Matriarch by Tina Knowles.
Hmm.
I'm loving it. Like that's what I listen to on my way to work. And then honestly, on my way home from work, I don't listen to anything. This has been something that I've been playing with for like the last 2 weeks, and it's been great. It's been great.
Are you in my where are you live in my house? You live at my house? I don't know. I got an extra bedroom over here, I don't know about. That's wild. Okay, I got thoughts on that. How are you experiencing the quiet rides? One, do you have a long ride home?
It's about 25 minutes.
That's long enough. How are you experiencing that quiet? And why and what made you take that on?
All right. Because this kind of can go back a little bit. I'll just give a little background. Um, some years ago, I don't even know how many at this point, but I got into mindfulness
Mm-hmm.
and meditation. And, at the beginning, meditation was like this big thing, like, oh, I have to sit in this pose and I have to be on a mat and I have to, listen to om sounds and frequencies and all that stuff. But now the relationship that I have with silence is almost, um, okay, and I'm not going to say it's almost at peace, but it kind of like being able to be in the silence is a reminder that I have peace. Um,
Mm.
and that's something else to be grateful for. I have been working with my relationship with myself over the last 2 years
Mm-hmm.
because like I've been through some crazy stuff in the last 3 or so years. And it was really messing with my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would have these thoughts which would bring up these emotions, which would bring about these things that I would say and feel. And, once I understood that the connection between thoughts, feelings, and words and kind of what's going on in the world, um, but also separate them to know that I like my consciousness is separate from the thoughts that occur in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mind is its own entity. It like I like the example when people say the mind is like a blue sky and the thoughts are like the clouds that come
Mm.
through because it kind of detaches that ownership, to like, oh, that's in my head, so that must be something that is
Mm.
of me. And
I
so
like
it
that.
freed me to witness what's going on inside of myself.
Mm. The sky is the sky, regardless if the clouds are there. The sky is just gonna be the sky. I like that, and I love metaphors. Mm. I really I also try as much as possible, not uh, yeah, it's just not as often as I'd like, but I've been trying for a while this one of the directions, whichever coming or going. I found that going to work, I do need something to kind of get me up because, I'm not a morning person. But after work and engaging with people and doing trainings and just getting stuff all day. It was nice to ride home in silence. It's been nice to ride home in silence. And I have found that I can hear like more stuff. I try to be more spiritually in tune to that, the one I call, call that I belong to, that I call God. And it was really hard to hear. Um, and it started not with silence. It started with I used to listen, and this is not I'm about to say something and it ain't got nothing to do with nobody but me. I got, in this life, when you start saying out loud words and stuff like that, you got to add disclaimers. It ain't got nothing to do with anybody but me and what I want for my life. But I used to swear by a rap playlist only. And I mean, like, all the stuff, like just the stuff, that maybe is not very nice to women and lots of cussing and themes that just they're not even how I govern myself. But I was in there like, I like a long head, thick rap, and I still do every once in a while. You
Yes.
know, I'm not a hater because I like Lil Wayne a lot.
Right.
Well, his old stuff, but anyways, let's say I was like, man, these themes are not working for the person that I'm trying to become. I am steady working for my future self. I'm investing in her. Is this going to support how she want to function? And every day singing songs about just things that are unbecoming to me and me alone didn't work. So I first switched gears and got onto the earbooks. What do you call it? You call it, yeah, ear listening, ear reading, and loved it. Now I'm on the podcast and all the things, but I really had to start somewhere because I couldn't right away do silence, right? And I actually didn't know going into that process that I was going in to listen. I was just saying, I didn't feel as good as I want to. I'm rolling up to my good government job. Just base is wild. And then I'm like, good morning, everybody. Hello, Frank. How you doing? Just didn't, I was feeling disparate, right? And so I shifted to the music that I was listening to, and it turned out that I actually loved my day. I started my day better. I don't got, I need to get on your level with the routine in the morning, but I got my routine from when I get in the car, how I want to feel. I have a picture of little Hazel. She's 9 years old, and she's the crux of my story, of this rush to adulthood. I have a picture of her and I speak to her, and I'm like sitting here like, girl, this child, I wouldn't let a 9-year-old live child sitting next to me listen to the things that I'm listening to. And I don't want the child inside of me and in front of me listening to those things that were not becoming. And so I started to really reshape what that ride looked like, that then reshaped what my time at work looked like and the type of things that I sort of let flow in. And you can't control that. People going to pop up to your office or to your desk and be like, ready to gossip. But what I could say was, oh, I don't gossip. Or if I don't want to say I don't gossip, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, thanks for sharing when you gossip, right? I'm gonna try. And I did that because I started in the car with that. When I was starting in the car with stuff that was unbecoming, yeah, I was engaging in gossip. I was super tired. I was backbiting, all the things, right? And so I feel like, again, I created some opportunities for me to have enjoyment and I mitigated where there possibly could be any kind of suffering, even in small ways. And quiet, it may not be for everybody. Like it really, you got to do a lot of work to get to quiet. And when I sit in the quiet, it's almost so loud once I get out of the car. Like I get out and then nothing happened. I park in the garage and it is actually quiet in the garage, but I can hear like the cars outside. I can hear the door close or whatever it is. I can hear the keys and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it's like coming from a silent retreat. So, anyways, I'm feeling just like a lot of gratitude that we share that like this silent ride has been a place of joy for me. Um, I definitely subscribe to Mary Oliver's statement that joy is not meant to be a crumb, that you could find joy and enjoyment in the mundane and in the massive, wherever you want to find that. So I think as we are closing this conversation, I would love to sort of hear where you finding joy in the mundane. You've talked a little bit, and where there are spaces for massive joy, either now or on the horizon, so that we can be bigging you up for that.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, joy in the mundane. It's really just health, being
Mm-hmm.
alive, working limbs, working organs. Like I can breathe with no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom. Those are my mundane joys. Like I really do
Freedom
appreciate
ain't
all.
too mundane, child. That's massive.
I guess
But
that's
yes,
true.
I hear you. But yes, I'm here. We are here. We have the freedom to say things, even elusively, right, about an environment that we live in. And God willing, we're not going to be burnt at the dang stake. You know what I mean? So that is, even while we have complications, we can hold the complexity. Two things can't be true. It's a tough time, but I'm free to tell you that it's a tough time.
Yes. Yes.
Very good. So freedom and breath, we love it. The mundane.
Yeah.
What about your massive joy?
Oh my gosh. Building, um, I don't even know how to sum it up, but I'll just say I'll call it a brand for now. Um, that is rooted in holistic wellness
Mm-hmm.
for all people, and for our future generations, um, through coaching, through retreats, through community, just through holding space.
Hmm.
Um, Also for the arrival of my Lady and Tramp on Friday, that feels massive.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I love to travel too, so I know there's some trips coming up in
Yes.
New Year.
Do you do lesbian friends trips?
I will be. I'm new to
Oh, you
lesbian,
do to her friend. Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I see what's going on. We got Egypt, we got Japan. Like I'm with it for sure.
Child, Lisa, she don't play. These trips be next level. Very good. I'm excited for all the micro, massive, and everything in between type joys. And I will say in this conversation, I've just really appreciated your just the ease with which you govern yourself. I mean, I don't find, I hope I'm not, I try to create a non-anxious presence, right? But anyone who's ever been anxious in this conversation, maybe it's just because that's how they function. Ain't no tea, no shade. But I read and receive just a level of resolve and lightness, and that makes you the great conversation partner for a conversation around enjoying this adult life. I'm grateful to hear all the ways that you enjoy your life and um, feel really convicted in a good way to step into the types of things that you've offered. Really beautiful morning routines, great boundaries, paying attention to what we consume in all aspects of the word, having great community, and knowing when to say no and knowing when to say that's above my pay grade. And in that way, we stave off pain and have a joyful life. So with that, I'm super grateful to you and thank you for joining me
Thank
in
you.
rushing to adulthood. I'll see you. Bye.